Hi, I'm Heather Noel. I'm author of the game Nothing is As It Seems. This is my lovely friend, Divya Darling, and she's going to tell you about what she does, and then we'll carry on from there.
I am the founder and the director of the Intrinsic Brilliance Institute, where we illuminate the wisdom within. So I was delighted to discover the game. Nothing is as it seems.
So we're here in Bali. It's so exciting. We love it here. We're doing a staycation, my daughter and I. And anyhow, the reason that we're doing this talk is to help you understand a little bit more about what is behind the game and how it helps young people. And so, would you tell them a little bit about your background?
Yeah. So, my formal education, my degrees are in neuroscience, psychology, cognitive sciences. So I am academically trained, and I have done years of study in different transformation modalities. So neurolinguistic programming, multiple brain integration techniques, language and behavioral profiling, just to name a few. And so through all of that, what I have come to discover is the tools that are dedicated mindfulness-based tools that are here to invite students to look within themselves are the most profound and most powerful. And this is one such tool.
First, I want to tell you a quick story, and I'm going to see if Divya can help shed some light on why this happens. So the game is an audiobook, and it is done in such a way that the audiobook plays, it stops, you get to make a choice, you tap on your choice, and then it continues playing. So it's a lot like what were those called?
Choose Your Own Adventure.
Yes.
It's like a Choose Your Own Adventure audio game.
That's right, audio game.
Great.
And it's never been done before, which has made this a little tricky because people look at me and they go, what? So we're going to try to take the mystery out of it. But I have to tell you, there's one thing that has been a complete shock to me, and that is I started off by even though this is for 12 and up, I started off just trying to get my adult friends to do this because it's a 13-hour audiobook, and there's an outer world and an inner world, and the inner world is called reprogramming your source code and lots of fun stuff. But here's what's really unusual about the book, the audiobook. It is narrated in second person, which is never done in books. It's usually first or third. So in this case, it's you're this and you're that. And the reason I'm telling you this is that when I had a group of 6 people who all listened to the book at the same time over about a 3-week period of time. And about 3 weeks after that, I was doing a group call with everybody. And these are people I talk to every week for an hour, and then we talk together once a week. And when I heard the group call, I realized that 5 out of the 6 people had a major breakthrough. I mean, they went from all is well and it's all okay to where they just felt completely differently. And that you can't plan on, you can't figure it out. There's no test you can take to make that happen. So I knew something was going on. And then at the end of April, I met a woman who had worked for Yahoo. She was right below the CEO, and she was the director of communications, very left brain, really interested in doing the giving game. And I said, okay, but I want you to start by doing the app first. And she agreed to do that. So she did that. And then she started doing the giving game. And about 3 weeks later, she woke up. And if I could bring you the people that could tell you that this is what happened, she was like a completely different person. Like, she went from being totally analytical and constantly, interrupting me with these really analytical questions to being what she now calls quantum. She called me woo-woo, but she calls it quantum now that it's her. So anyhow, I have been so curious to find out why that would happen. Why is this causing people to be able to suddenly break through? And it's nothing conscious because no one connects it to listening to the story. But this is, I literally had 7 people who listened to it, and 6 of them went, oh. And with her, she had no background in the giving game. She had only done 3 weeks and suddenly got it. So what do you think?
Great question. Well, it's because it's 13 hours, and because of the way in which it's written. First, our brains, when we process information that is given in a story, right? We're being told you are this character, and then there's certain points where the tonality changes and the voice changes, so we're absorbed as though we're listening to a fiction book, right? But it's because it's in second person, it's one long kind of hypnosis, essentially. This transcenductive meditation, mindful meditation, and the combination of the sounds, the kind of music that's there, we're able to bypass the analytical mind that's thinking, yeah, I gotta be on guard for this, I gotta be on guard. And so these useful, empowering suggestions slip in. And these suggestions are, look inside yourself, center yourself, you're okay, all is well. Different moments, when there's moments of crisis, you can breathe, send the breath to the places in your body where there's stuck energy, and it's a really powerful hypnosis, essentially.
Yeah, right? And the other thing that I realized is because it's a fictional story, the left brain seriously takes a holiday. It just goes, oh, well, it's just a story, and it just stops. So when these amazing concepts come through, the left brain, it doesn't get in the way at all. It just stays out of it and lets you be in that state.
And that's the value of gamification. That's why I was talking to Heather about gamification and how it's so important for how we learn, because we, as humans, when you think about the most profound learning that we do, we go from being completely kind of infants that can't do anything to being able to lift our heads, to crawl, to speak, to all of that, usually in the span of about 18 months, right? Huge amount of learning that takes place. Huge amount of learning, making sounds, like how much goes into, if you think about making this sound, the letter G, the things that your tongue has to do, but none of us took lessons. We didn't learn how to do that in school formally, but we kind of observed, watched and learned, we listened to what's going on around us. So it really uses the way the brain's naturally wired to learn, right? Through our sensory awareness. And the variation in the sounds, Heather has an extraordinary voice. She narrated the whole thing. And so the different voices for different characters, it really brings you on a journey. It really brings you on a journey. And the process, the outcome of this journey is a transformative one for any ages, right?
Yeah, true. And I think the more you know, the deeper you understand it. So quickly, let me just give you a little titch of background, is that Earth is a virtual reality. You're born into the program. Your body is your avatar and your biocomputer, and your feelings and focus run the binary code of the program. And it's always fun when I do this with certain people, like, well, isn't that the truth? Yeah. So anyhow, when you start to listen to the story, you'll start to question how you think and how you feel, and how, and what happens when you go into fear. How does your world appear to you if you're sad or feel guilty or whatever it may be? And so what happens in the story is, as you're going through and you come to the end of a segment where there's a lot of fear that you're experiencing, because it's you, the game is you, right? So you're experiencing this and that. You get to the end of that segment, and this little thing pops up, and it says that you have unlocked this thing called unlocking fear, or unlocking shame or guilt. And then it says, what would you like to do? So you have the choice of going and listening to this. Now, we'll call it a meditation, but we don't call it that because schools say meditation is religion in America, in some schools, not all of them. So it is called reprogramming your source code. But if you listen to it, it has a very meditative effect. I could say it that way, right?
Well, essentially, we know from countless research studies, right? This is well known in the scientific literature that meditation, schools that do meditation, schools that embed meditation into their curriculum, they see a reduction in suspensions, they see a reduction in misbehavior, they see higher test scores go up, because these things are proven. Scientifically, mindfulness-based meditation reduces rumination, cognitive chatter, it reduces negative emotional affect, which is feelings like depression, stress, anxiety, panic attacks. Those go right down. What gets increased is your feelings of okayness, life satisfaction. Things are all right, all is well, I'm fine. Like scientifically proven byproducts of meditation. And so even though it's called reprogramming your source code, that's fantastic, because that's essentially what you're reprogramming your source code is. You're rewiring your neural networks. That's what meditation does. Rewires your neural networks so that you can respond differently rather than reacting to situations that were once upon a time challenging. You pause, consider, how might I like to respond to this from a calm, centered, even space? It's very powerful.
Thank you.
I tend to equate it to being like a Pixar film, where no matter what age you are, you get different levels. You can, so it's very much like that. No matter who's listening, you're gonna get what you are there. You know, it'll delight you in one way or another, whether by the sheer cleverness of what's the meta messages that are embedded in there of empowerment and encouragement, or by just the adventure, the storytelling, the quick, epic quality of narration. And there's a lot to love